Honestly, I look like I could fight someone, and I'm totally cool with that. Hey y'all, it's me Cecilia. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here with kind of a little different video. So I did a challenge in June because, as you guys know, I love manga, comics, graphic novels, the whole shebang, you know? And I figured, let's do a challenge in order to kind of honor my love of those. And I was trying to decide what to do, and I was like, you know what, let's read a manga or comic a day for the entire month of June. See, no, I wasn't expecting June to be the shit show that it was. But I did it. I read 30, and I'm here to review them all. Going this day forward, I'm going to be separating my wrap-ups into the regular books, and then mangas and comics and graphic novels, because I read so many a month. So I read 30. I'm going to be talking about these in series, like by series, because I don't see a point of doing it in between. And when I rate things, if I read multiple in the series, I'm just gonna go the average rating of all of them. It's just gonna be easier for me. I read 1 graphic novel, 6 comics, and 23 manga volumes. The first one I read was Cove by Katie O'Neill. I gave this one 5 stars. This was fucking fantastic. I talk about it a little bit in my mid-year book freakout tag, so if you want to watch that, I will leave it up above. Pretty much just follows Lana, and her father go back to this seaside village that they used to live at, and they moved away because her mom died in a boating accident and it was just too hard for their family, and they go to help out their aunt. When she's interacting with the aquacorn, she notices that the coral reef is dying and that it's because of the overfishing that the village is doing, and that she needs to help. This is cute. This is sapphic. This was just such a really cute, all I could say is that it was cute, honestly. It's a graphic novel, so it doesn't have much substance. I mean, that's graphic novels in my opinion. But other than that, it was just, I really also liked how in the back of the book, it talks about what is coral bleaching and goes into the in-depth of what coral, like what's going on with coral reefs nowadays. And it was all very well researched, and I really like, fun learning. This is a fun learning graphic novel, and I could really appreciate it for that. So the first comic I read was Starfire by Amanda Connor. This I gave 2 stars. I could not stand this. So I had originally read the first issue and I was like, okay, this looks like it can be promising. And it wasn't. So pretty much what this follows Starfire, her, new origin story. And she ends up in Florida in Key West. And she's just like, I'm just gonna live my life as a human, even though I'm not human. Like, I'm bright orange, but we're gonna work. And when she's there, the first night she's there, a hurricane comes, and the hurricane pretty much wakens up this demon monster thing that's trying to kill her and some other people, like some other aliens on the planet. The art style was cute, very over-sexual, not very over-sexualized, but it was a little over-sexualized, just from my observations of it. This comic was just, she didn't make sense. It just wasn't fun or interesting. I love Starfire as a character, and I think that this comic ruined her character. Debatable, like, it just made her go back into like a kind of a ditzy archetype, and I'm not into that version of Starfire. Like, she's more nuanced than that, and then this comic really didn't explore it. I wasn't a fan, so, and I'm not gonna continue on. There's only 1 other volume, and I'm not gonna bother. So I read this entire comic series. It is Hinges. This is book 1, book 2, and book 3. So the average I gave for the series was a 2.8. When I tell you, I truly don't know what happened in this. I truly don't know what happened in this series. This was based off a webcomic, and when reading this, between book 1 and book 2, I felt like I was missing an entire book, because shit didn't make sense of how we got from here to here. Like, it didn't make sense, and I thought I was going crazy. I thought that I forgot to buy one, but no, I was saying the book is not. So literally nothing really got explained. Pretty much in this world, these they're not even humans. They get created in a factory. They're given these little companions, and hers is not the right kind of companion, and so she's hunted down for no freaking reason. This book has very little dialogue, so you kind of have to infer what's happening based off of like motions. The art style is also very, it's not bad, but it's a choice. So I just didn't enjoy this series. Shit didn't make sense. All the way to volume 3, it didn't make sense. And so I don't recommend this. Volume 8 and 9 of Saga by Brian K. Vaughan. This is volume 9. I'm not gonna talk too much about the series because it is 8 and 9. I finished the series. And pretty much we follow Elena and Marco. And at the beginning of the series, pretty much Elena gives birth to their baby, but they are 2 different species in 2 different planets that are at war with each other. And of course, we don't like interspecies love kind of thing. And they're pretty much being tracked down and hunted and killed, or hunted by bounty hunters to kill them. It's a really good series. So the average I gave for the series was 4.5, and it was so good. There's a lot of queer representation, if you're wondering about that. It's not very evident in the first volume, but it gets more on when you read more of the series. When people told me that I was gonna cry in this volume, a bitch cried. This series leaves off at a cliffhanger, and there is, I think, an indefinite hiatus. No, people die, and I'm not okay about it, and I'm still not okay about it. I tweeted about it, and everyone's like, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. It's just a cute series. I really recommend it. So yeah. All right, those were all the comics, and we're gonna go into the manga now. So the first manga I read was Flying Witch. I reread volume 1 and I read 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the average I gave for the volumes was a 4.4. This is just such a cute witchy series. I tend to really like witchy manga or witchy anime. So this just kind of filled the void. So pretty much we follow Makoto. She moves in with her cousin's family because she's trying to learn, or she's a witch, she's trying to learn magic, and it's kind of a tradition that you leave home to learn magic on your own. But since she's only like 16, her parents are like, go live with your cousins, still go to high school, but also learn magic while you're doing it. And it's really cute. Every chapter feels like its own little episode, so I think this is an anime, so I think this would be a really cute and fun anime. You get to meet a lot of different magical creatures in this. A cool, amazing cast of characters. It's really funny. It's like not just based off of her being a witch is the humor. Sometimes it's just humor of just their personalities and their banter between her cousin, the friends they make, and then the different other witches that they meet. It's just a really cute series. So they're really short, they're really sweet, and I really recommend it, Next one is My Dress Up Darling by Shinichi Fukuda. I only read volume 1. I gave this one 4 stars. Pretty much we follow Wakana, and he wants to become a traditional doll artisan. I don't remember what the specific word title for the dolls that he makes, but they're Hina dolls, yes. And that's his passion. That's what he really cares about. And since he's a 15-year-old high schooler, no one really can relate to him, or he can't relate to other of his peers. One day he meets Marin, and she pretty much tells him I don't know why you're insecure about your hobbies, because it's a hobby, enjoy what you like. And he really resonates with that, and pretty much they accidentally meet, and she loves to cosplay, and since he can sew, she asked him to help make a cosplay for her. And this was just a really cute series. This does say there is explicit content in this. It's not really explicit, it's just a lot of fan service. So there's not everything outright, but there's literally an entire chapter of where he is measuring her, to measuring her for measurements for cosplay. And of course she's in a bikini. He finds her attractive, and he's freaking out oh my gosh, I have to get close to her thighs. And it was kind of wholesome, but the art in this is really beautiful. I'm gonna continue on with the series, and so of course if you don't like fan service, this is not gonna be for you. But I really like their discussions of cosplay, how they talk about it, and I could see the romance blossoming, and I think it's really cute. So I really enjoyed this one. I think the second volume comes out in August. This is like a newer manga, so yeah. So next I read volume 1 and 2 of, what is this? Fall in Love Like a Comic by Chitoshi Yagama. So this is just a like a series with just 2 volumes in it. So I read the entire series. I gave both of these 3 stars. So pretty much we follow Rina, and she is a mangaka, pretty much people who draw and make manga, and she's in high school. So she's making all this romance manga in high school, and she's never dated a guy, never been kissed or anything like that, but she's writing all this romance, and her friend kind of puts in the idea like, you know, maybe your manga will get better if you have some experience. She asked this one of the most probably the most attractive dude in her school, hey, do you want to help me out with this? He's like, sure, I'm down. And this is like their love story, and it's really cute. It starts off kind of like a fake dating, but then they actually are starting dating like pretty quickly on. The art style is kind of busy, like that's a lot on one page, but it was really cute. The main characters are very high school, so the moments that Rina is like, oh my gosh, like he is so hot and why is he dating me? So it's very high school love angst, but at some points it would piss me off and I would just have to take off, I would have to take off my adult glasses because we get it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm an adult, I've been in relationships before, I have surpassed this, so I don't really relate to it anymore, but when I was 15, this would have been me. It's really cute, short, and if you can find the volumes, I think y'all should read it. I think it's cute. Next one I read was a huge disappointment. Little Witch Academia Volume 1 by Hazuki Psycho. So I've watched the anime and I love the anime. It's on Netflix. I really recommend the anime. And I was like, these covers are so beautiful and the art is just so cute. I'm gonna love this. I gave this 3 stars. And here's why. Do not read this manga if you have not watched the anime because you'll be hella confused. There would be characters who are key characters in the series that they don't even mention by name in here. They'll just show up and you're just expected to know who they are. And I'm pretty sure they don't mention Diana's name once, and she's pretty much the rival of the series. So you think you would mention her name. You think you'd say her name, but I don't recall it being mentioned in here at all. The plot line doesn't make sense in this volume. So it starts off as how pretty much the first episode of the anime. And I was like, cool, it's gonna be very similar to anime. And then the next one is a random volleyball scene. Why? We're in magic school. Why is there a volleyball scene? I didn't even talk about what this is about. So pretty much we follow Aiko. She is a human and she just really wants to be a witch. She looks up to Shiny Chariot, who was this really popular witch when she was a child, and she just really wants to become a witch, but she's never ridden a broomstick, she's never done magic and everything like that. But she gets into Luna Nova, which is a witch school, and she learned how to do magic. It's a cute series, but this manga was just not it. I wish they just followed the anime. I think this came out before the anime, so I don't know how. The anime is just a lot better for this, so watch the anime, don't read the manga. I'm gonna unhaul this, or maybe, I don't know, it's cute. We'll see. The next one I read was The Way of the House Husband by Kosuke Ono. So this is a comedy. I usually don't read standard comedy series, but this one is. I follow this guy, don't remember his name, but he's a former Yakuza, which is pretty much the head of the mob, former gang member pretty much, and he is married now and he's just living his life as a house husband, and he still very much looks like a Yakuza, still very much looks like he's going to beat you up, but he's just going around in his day-to-day life, and he sometimes meets up with some of his old buddies or some of his old rivals who still think he is a Yakuza, and it's hijinks ensue. So I really enjoyed this one. I guess my critique is that all of the comedy is based on him looking like a Yakuza, and it doesn't go more than that comedy-wise, really. So like I swear all the jokes kind of felt the same. Like he would go to the grocery store. He's like, I'm just here because there's a sale on rice, and Yakuza, like a other dude would come in and be like, oh my god, it's the immortal dragon, let's fight him. And then he's like, I don't fight people anymore because I'm a house husband. And that was pretty much it. I think there's 4 more in the series, so I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I'll continue, especially if the comedy is going to be the same as we go on, because I'm not down for that. Because it's just going to get boring and sick. I'm going to get bored and sick of it after a while. So, but it was still good. I recommend it if you enjoy that kind of comedy. Okay, next one, I read a very, very popular series. I didn't read all of it. I think I read about half. So I read A Silent Voice. This is volume 4. I only read 1 through 3. I gave volumes 1 through 3 a 4-star. So pretty much A Silent Voice follows Shoya. He's an asshole, okay? he is an asshole of a child, and he is a bully, but specifically he bullies this one girl, Shoko, who is deaf, and she'll do really terrible things to him. He bullied her. Sorry if I made that unclear. So if you are triggered by bullying, this might be too rough for you, because it shows it intensely. Like he'll rip out her hearing aid and throw it in the water, mock her and stuff like that. And the stuff he does is despicable. But pretty much Shoko leaves and everyone starts targeting Shoya and starting to bully him, because since he bullied Shoko, even though everyone else bullied Shoko, you know, whatever. And pretty much they're now in high school, and he just wants to make amends for what he did. He's learned sign language, and he just wants to befriend Shoko again. This is so hard. I have volume 4 and 5 checked out, and I was gonna read these ones, but they're just so heavy that sometimes I just don't want to pick them up. I've heard from some deaf reviewers that the representation in this is done very well. So if you're curious about that, look at the Goodreads reviews. It's done pretty well. I really like Shoko and Shoya as characters. They grow and develop, and you really get to see their inner sides. Like Shoya, it really delves into those themes of like, if you've done things in your past, like, do you truly change? And like, if you were severely bullying someone 5 years ago and now you're like, I'm past that, like, are you really past that? How does that work? And it was done very well. The movie is really good as well. It's very rushed, the movie. So I watched the movie first, but I recommend the anime or the manga first, and then I would watch the movie, since it's so rushed. And there's like several characters that are just cut out of the movie. But it's a really good series, and the art style is just really cute, you know? So I would recommend this one. Next one I read was probably the series I read the most of, The Ancient Maga's Bride. I read volume 3 through 10. The average I gave of the volumes I read was a 4.12. I also talked about this in my mid-year book freakout tag, and we follow Chise right here, and she pretty much sold herself into slavery because she's given up on life. Elias pretty much buys her because he doesn't want other people are going to do weird things, and he wants to protect her, but also because she's a sleigh buggy. And pretty much sleigh buggies are people who, one, are able to see fae without any special enhancements. They just are able to see them on a regular basis. But also she's able to, like, she produces a lot of energy. She's kind of like a battery, to the point where sometimes she can just die. Like, sleigh buggies tend to die very young because that they are batteries. And it follows her learning to be a mage, and this is such a good series. I just finished the arc before. I don't remember what arc it is, what the title is, but we just started the college arc, and I'm so excited because it sounds so cool. Yeah, if you really like the fae and you really like to follow that kind of mythical world, this is a good series. It talks about alchemists, and it really goes into depth. There's an anime as well. I have not watched the anime, but I plan on watching it very soon. And one big thing I like about this is that Chise's kind of a dumbass, in a way that she like really just wants to protect her friends, but to the expense of her own. And she actually gets injured and hurt, and there's consequences for her actions. I think that's my favorite part in books, is when there's consequences for people's actions. If you're gonna do some stupid shit, at least pay for it, you know? So I really appreciate that, and it's just a really good series, so I really recommend this one. So I read this one off of NetGalley. This was my first NetGalley book, so, and it happened to be manga, on brand. And this was Kakishiguru, My Dad's Secret Ambition, Volume 1 by Koji Kumeda. This was already on my like TBR before I saw it on NetGalley. I requested it and I got approved. We got Kakeshi. He is a mangaka. As you can see, I really like stories with mangakas, or the manga writing process. And he pretty much writes hentai. He writes, you know, the steamy, erotic manga. And he has a young daughter. His daughter is like, I want to say she's like 8 in the series. And he goes out of his way to make sure that she does not find out that he writes dirty manga. And it's pretty funny. It goes into all that and also that deep. I'm not gonna lie, when you hear My Dad's Secret Ambition, sounds a little sketchy, but it's not. It's nothing like that in the world. It's just, you can tell he truly loves his daughter, and it's like that really cool mother-daughter relationship. It's very cute in that way. The art style is very pretty as well. I think it's just well done. It's a 4-star. I thought it was fun, and I'm going to continue on with the series. I also found it interesting is that after every chapter, the author of this manga wrote her own little page and kind of explained what happened, talked about the writing process, like, oh, this is really relatable to me because this is exactly what I went through, and talks about how they really, like, they hide the fact that they write manga from their friends because they think it's shameful. And it's really interesting that the themes that this manga goes into, so I really recommend it for that one. The last one. I think this was my favorite manga I read this whole year, and I read it last night, and it was because I'm filming this on July 1st. This was amazing. Hellsing Volume 1 by Kota Hirano. I'm very upset that this is out of print because I cannot find it physically anywhere. I found this first volume on Thrift Books for like $4. It was so good. By the way, like, this is a vampire manga, apparently also a thing I love. So pretty much we follow the Hellsing Corporation, and they pretty much track down rogue vampires and kill them before they kill more humans. And but also we specifically follow Alucard. And why is there so many vampires named Alucard? Let's talk about that. But we follow Alucard, and he's also a vampire, but he's also a vampire hunter, which is a trope I tend to really like, vampire hunters that are also vampires. And he hunts them down. This series is very gory, so I don't know if I can even share a part. It's very gory, so if you're down for that, here. But it's a really great horror manga. I was like sitting here reading this like, I just want more of it. There's 10 volumes in the series. I'm probably just gonna read it online, and it was fantastic. I wish I would one day, if I'm able to ever find all of the volumes in the series, I'm gonna buy them because I really want all of them. But this was such a good horror manga, and I love it. That's it. Those were all of the manga, comics, and graphic novels I read. Have you read any lately? Have you read any of these? And also, I'm always down for recommendations. I always like to discover more manga, comics, and graphic novels, so leave your recommendations linked down below. But yes, that's it for today. Today's emoji, since I'm wearing these record headphones, let's do a music note, anything, maybe the microphone emoji, any of the musical emojis. Leave that one down below. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. I'll see you in another video. Peace.